think even the people that don't like the term black, so you've got the Moors, for example, in America, they don't like the term black, but they'll agree that there's no growth without the extreme blackness. So they agree to the scientific term of the use of the word black as a denomination of nothingness, or the birthplace, or the void of things. But in terms of as a describer, they don't like it.
But why do you think they don't like it?
That's the negative connotations.
I would say that, but I don't know. Is that why?
To be fair, I would argue that Noble Jew Ali was using it at a point which we hadn't agreed on black yet. We were still using Negro, nigger, coloured at that point. And I think we was moving towards black. This is like in the 40s and the 30s.
So basically, man are just reiterating what my man was saying.
I think at that point was when we was having really real discussions institutionally about what we should describe ourselves and what we should call ourselves.
Which is what we're doing here now.
There's chiefs now.
So it just
Chief
it was just not
it
wasn't conclusive. It was like man wasn't certain what we should call ourselves.
I don't think you can be conclusive, because you've got at that point you had the Moorish Science Temple, you had the Hebrew Israelites, you had the Pan Africans. All of them had different religious persuasions, and actually black became a term that they could all use. So actually, let's all use the term black. And I think now when people work against it, it's almost like a clickbait thing.
Yes, I agree.
Where it's a discussion that people like to hear. But actually, I don't think the prejudice towards the term black is anywhere near as prevalent as the discussions might have us believe.
But it's also a thing, because I had a client. He was an Asian man, and he asked me, like, why do black people call themselves black? Why don't you call themselves African? So it is a question. It is something that
other races will say that. This is what I said about before. So it is you call yourself black, you don't link yourself to a specific history, a language. You don't do that, and I think that's what other people say. How can you call yourself black?
Yeah, so that's an argument.
Other races will say where you come from.
But this is why for me this
beginning of a good conversation.
That's why this discussion is important, because this is what I'm trying to pen down why we do. We intrinsically know, and I'm saying it's in our genes. Like my brother said, in Kem we did. We've always referred to Africa as the land of black people. We understand the power of taking a tower that unifies us all. That is actually rooted in a truth, a certain truth, right? Yeah. Because we like facts. Whatever we think about spiritual, we actually are very fact-based in the way we have our spiritual systems. As much as we've been taught that we just it's all supernatural logic. No, it's we all have a logic that's based on actual facts. So calling ourselves black people is because we're fucking very close to black, bro. You know, you gotta think how dark people can be in Africa when so very close to black. So it's an objective truth, and it unified us.
And this is the only. I think this is the pushback that I did have when we spoke about this. And I think it was a pushback when I've seen discussions around the use of the word Kem for an empire, and this is when people are all using their own languages. Kem Nubia didn't call themselves Nubians.
No.
The Cometians called them Nubians. They was called the Hekakasut, or there was called something else. My point is that when we're self-identifying internally, I think as on the continent, everyone could call themselves black, but because of the language differences, it's not one word. And I think what we're arguing for now is to use one specific term, which is why I liked at the end of the first one, the idea of understanding all the different ways that black people have vocalized the term, like Kem. We've got all these different terms. I think that's more powerful. I would encourage my daughter to say, okay, how did the Akan speak? How did the Twi? How did the Gar? How did the different dialects? Rather than, I think
I understand what you're saying.
This is saying that we should use the English languages as the lingua franca globally. Yeah. I don't think even I'd be more of an advocate for us learning indigenous languages and using those ways to even communicate with each other.
Yeah. I understand.
This is ambitious, this is idealistic, and maybe unrealistic. So that's why I wouldn't fight the term black. Yeah. But I would definitely say I would prefer you to use the Ugandan term for black. Like I would prefer to use the Twi term for black. So we don't greet each other as black people, as a unified, just BLACK. Your term for black, my term for black, in my language.
And having that understanding amongst us all, rather than just trying to fit into. And I get that as well.
I know what you're saying, but we get into, for me, this is why I pick this, is because we're getting hemmed up on the term black, as in that language, that exact word, BLACK in English, as opposed to what it's describing. Because the point for me, this whole presentation, is that when we use it, we don't, it's not really the specific linguistic terminology, it's what it's describing.
But
that
Kem
is
is
the
powerful.
point. Yeah, Kem is only powerful.
Moorish
Kem
is the Spanish word for black.
Yeah,
but we say the Moors. We don't say the black.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
We say
and
the
that's,
Moors.
That's actually word sound power even better, because it's the Moors. It's like, that's us. We're more of, rather than
black.
And I
think, I don't think it makes black less powerful. I'm just saying that when you look historically, we use the word term Moor. We use the term maroon. Maroon. We never called ourselves maroons. It's a term that we took on and gave power to. So you're right, it's whatever we give power to. I just say that our dialect and our language is how we think.
Yeah.
I understand.
And I think we use the British language, we use the English language, and I think black is a powerful term for us. I think, though, it's less powerful than our terms for black.
I get you. I'm with you that we should understand our dialects, but in this whole terminology, what we need to get away from which word we're using as opposed to what the word means. That's what I'm trying to... The point is what the word actually means, right? So there's connotations about what the word means. That's our problem with this English language of black, and the fact it's not our language too. I agree with that. Okay. But the actual issue is what the word means. We're taking it to mean things, and that's the problem we have with it. So it doesn't matter what dialects we're using it in if we still take that meaning from it. If we take that, if we take Kem, but we still have negative connotations of blackness.
But when you're saying Kem, or when you're using the words or the dialect of it, won't be even seen in that same negative light.
This is why it's important. That's why, because when you say Kem,
because you're using your logic.
Kem,
I'm with you. I know
there's no negative connotations. When you say more, there are negative connotations.
I get it.
We use the term.
No, I get it. But hear what I'm saying.
We attribute negative.
I get it.
Because it was imposed on us for difference, like from internally and externally. That's what I'm feeling.
But the way you neutralize this is what I'm trying to say here. We just need to remember that whether you say Kem or you say black, you're describing a particular thing which isn't negative, as opposed to allowing the word to have a negative connotation to avoiding it. I'm going to avoid that and only use this word because
So what's your suggestion? You saying that we call ourselves black and we're happy?
No, I'm saying it's nothing wrong with the term black because there's an objective reality that it refers to, not a connotative reality.
Yeah.
Right? And that is what is important. It is good to learn the languages, and we should call ourselves by our own tongues, yes. But we shouldn't allow even an English term or a Chinese version of black or Taiwanese version of black, none of these,
or even
anyone's version of black, because there's an objective reality to what it describes, what we literally are, and the fact that there's nothing negative about that. When we allow ourselves to feel like in a particular language is bad, our brain don't understand. You know, our brain works with association. If we associate blackness with negativity in any tongue, right, then it doesn't matter. If we associate another tongue with that same term, then those negative connotations transfer. You can say you don't think the Kem is linked to the English word for black all you want. But if black is negative in your head and Kem relates to black, then Kem relates to negative. There's no way around it. So the only real cure is that to understand it's only negative to those who have decided it's negative. I haven't decided it's negative because I know what it is objectively.
So, and I think the objective reality is good in dialogue, but I think when you're trying to be realistic, there's a reason why Kem is powerful. There's a reason why Moor is powerful. There is a reason why black is powerful. But I would argue there's a reason why the English language is less powerful than these other terms that we will use in English. We'll use Kemet we will use it. We don't say we call it the black land because that's not. We don't. We say Kemet.
Yeah, Kemet.
We say Moor. We say we use these terms in the English language, and they do denote black, but we use them and they have a different, more powerful connotation. Now, that's not to say that black doesn't have a powerful connotation, and I think actually to repurpose the small minorities, I actually don't think. I think you're preaching to the converted in a sense. Where I don't think there's a lot of people. I think it's a discussion that I think we see a lot, but I don't think there's a lot of people, percentage-wise, of black people uneasy with the term black. I don't think there is. I think there's a lot of people who speak for attention's sake around the term because it's an interesting term. But I would say that the language, the English language, that has negative connotations because it was a language, it was a form of communication that was forced upon us. So for that reason alone, I would say that any other term that means black, other than the BLACK. This is why I wanted to spell our podcast BLAK. I wanted to call it Blacks. I wanted to spell it differently.